tell you when we're on. Sending data. Right, we're on. Right, it looks like we're back. Are we back now, ladies and gentlemen? Can you hear us? Ah, here we are.
Hi.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the technicals. I'm trying something new. I'm going to say it. I'm going to try something new here today. And I kind of missed just a schoolboy error. I can admit and put my hands up to that one. So won't happen again. And let's just get right back into it. We will extend the time for you guys because we do understand and appreciate that you've waited and you've bared with us. And we really appreciate that. All right. So on that note,
thank you
guys. Thank you guys. We're back again. I'm going to hand you over to Cheryl and Carol while I just check behind the scenes and make sure we don't have any more issues, which I don't think we're going to have anyway now. I've sorted it. All right, ladies.
Right. So as Lolly said, we thank you again. Bear with us. This is all ladies doing this thing. We have been reading through some of your comments and we thank you. Yeah, we thank you for your comments. I'm going to just go through some of the older comments and we appreciate them still. So Sonia Whittingham, again, good evening. She said, my mother didn't experience what I had to deal with, but I'm controlling naturally without HRT, and that's myself. I'm not going to go on the HRT.
Why?
That's my thing.
Why have you decided to do that?
I think because, I don't know, I know that it's been proven to work with some women, but I think I just want to be able to go down the natural route. So at the moment, a friend recommended sage.
Okay.
Sage tablet.
Okay. Do you find it working?
I have been taking, and it seems to be sort of supporting and helping me along the way. So yeah. Then
what about evening primrose though?
Evening primrose in my early stages.
Okay.
In my early stages, I'm not sure if I would. I may take that again, but with the support of the sage, and there's many other stuff that you can go through.
Okay.
As well.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And Florence, thank you for getting back to letting us know what your boss thinks of your situation with the menopause. And yeah, I'm glad you got the support at work as well.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. Because not many guys are understanding because they don't know.
Yeah.
Especially if your boss is much younger than you.
He definitely won't understand.
No.
Or she won't understand.
Yeah. Both he or she.
Yeah, he or she won't understand.
Do you think it's something that should be added in and sort of incorporated? I wouldn't say, what's the word I'm looking for? They should be maybe more sympathetic to women of a certain age when it comes to employment because of those issues.
But would that be the same like they're being sympathetic to women being pregnant? Because a lot of companies are not. They will just have to go along with the laws.
So do you think with something like that, you're pregnant for 9 months, you go through menopause for 10 years?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that most companies or every company should have that added bonus if you need, especially if you need time out. Where you have this foggy brain. It's been mentioned by many ladies in the chat room, where you have this brain fog, you have this cloudiness, you cannot tolerate, and you do not have the patience. So I think there should be some sort of time out room that you could go to where you could just relax, breathe, count 100, I don't know, 200, and come back, and because you will get back to that person. Well, I believe that they should put on some sort of support for it.
Sonia
because Mimi, she said her symptoms were harsh, also have very low blood pressure. So when the hot flushes started, her body started to get overheated. And at times she's actually passed out from this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, can you imagine? I don't have any, she doesn't have any mood swings, which she's grateful for. However, sleepless nights. And she also went natural with her hair 7 years ago due to sweating so much. So she doesn't have relaxers or anything. Her hair's all natural.
Yeah, I totally get that. Because there's I got my hair cut. I don't like anything now. I don't like anything now on the back of my neck. Well, not even now, from a good couple of years ago. I mean, Carol, yes, you have been doing my hair for a while now. And you know that even when I wore the wig, you needed to come and cut them down because the sweating.
You couldn't take the sweats at the back.
At the back of the nape of your neck, near the occipital bone, as I'm going to get all technical here, it's just you just do not want anything on there. So I totally get that, and it's a shame that she does have low blood pressure, and I hope that she's trying to manage it the best that she can.
And Max in England, in comparison to some of the stories she's heard, she has been quite lucky. She said one woman she knows literally breaks out in the sweat. The sweat would just pour off her. She said she had to bring changes of clothes to work to change into. Oh, wow. That's how bad it is.
Yeah. I really do. I only can say that I really do sympathise with ladies that are going through it that drastically. It must be horrendous.
I'm not going to lie, you lot are frightening me.
Yeah.
I was starting to get a bit scared out here because I like a bit of hair on my neck and all these things, and you know, and I generally seem to be more of a warm person. It takes a lot for me to get cold in the first place, so I'm not trying to be like getting hot and falling down in the road and all
and
this.
I'm the opposite. I'm always cold.
Yeah.
So I was like saying to people, "Oh, I'm looking forward to the hot flushes. I can actually be warm for a change." And people's like, "No, you're not."
No, I'm going to say, poor hubby at night time, bless him, you know, it's covers on. I mean, someone did actually mention this in the chat room on one of our shows, that it's covers on, covers off, and it's literally covers on, covers off. Our tog, which is 4.5 tog, never changes, even during the winter. And like Lolly said, I'm a person, I like warmth. I need warmth, but yeah, he can't. It's going so bad, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't even want you to touch me because I get so hot. So we've got a comment from, sorry, Lolly, we've got a comment from George Williams. Good evening. I'm learning something new, basically, too, because my wife is snapping for years and I thought it was me. And he said, "Oh, I see." So no, it's not you, George.
Not all the time, George. Not all the time.
Not all the time, anyway.
Sometimes it might be just you.
This is where the communication comes into plan, yeah?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Carol.
But then he might say, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "I'm fine." So what can you do after that?
Yeah. So
and what he can do after that is give her a space.
How far?
No, don't go for the hug. Do not go back away from the hug. Right. Good evening, Millie Henderson. Thank you for your comment. She says, "I'm having a lot. I'm 45 and have started to get hot flushes. Welcome." Right, hot flushes within the last few weeks. It could last. It could just be that I got my boiler service, but I'm not sure. Thanks for talking about this, ladies. You are very welcome, babe.
You're very welcome.
Could be that your boiler, but I'm telling you, it's the start.
We've got a message. Millie says she's also scared of approaching coming to that time. Verona's got a good one. She says, "I need to meditate. I get angry very quickly." So meditation might be something really quite
absolutely
just to kind of mellow you out a little bit. But I suppose you have to be able to do that.
So that's not the same as watching Netflix, no?
Sorry?
That's not the same as watching Netflix.
It depends when you're watching, I reckon.
Oh, man.
So I would like to, while you ladies are reading some of the comments, what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if we can get a gentleman on the phone before we speak to Bella, to just get a man's point of view, because we've had a lot from the ladies. So I'd just like to get we like to balance things out here on this show on We Need to Talk. And I think, it'd be a good idea to get a man's point of view of what he's actually dealing with. So I'll let you do that, and then I'll bring him in very shortly. All right?
Right, thank you. So did we read V. Campbell?
Which
Good
one?
evening, V. Yeah, so V said, "I only have the night sweats and no have obvious symptoms. When I wake up, he says, "Enjoy your swim."
Yeah.
Right, your turn, babe.
Andrew Etienne, I've been dealing with it for about 4 years now, and I have never discussed it with my GP. Not interested in taking any drugs for it.
No.
Same like what you said, Cheryl. You don't want to take for it.
I'm not interested in taking that. Sorry, ladies and gents. I'm just actually Sonia Whittingham again. She actually said something quite funny to me. She said you can be very emotional. She says she will cry for everything at times, even music in an advert. Now, Sonia and ladies, I don't do emotions very well. I don't do emotions at all, Janae. So my mum will say that I'm stone cold. And I find myself watching certain things and feeling very emotional.
Wow.
And welling up. And these feelings I have never experienced before. So, yeah, I totally agree that, yeah, you can be quite emotional, which is true. It's a part of menopause.
So, Millie Henderson, are there any benefits to menopause? I guess not.
I would say there is.
Other than losing your periods.
Yeah, I would say that's a big
thing.
Yeah,
other than you not having to go to Superdrug and Boots.
Yeah. Spending all your money.
And I think, do you know what? I think it's terrible that we actually have to pay for these things, like the
but
amount that we do.
By rights, by next year, it's meant to be free. You know.
Really?
They did a big debate about it, saying they should legalize sanitary towels and make it free.
It's not our fault.
You'd have to pay for it.
Yeah. In many schools, in many secondary schools, they now receive boxes of them free for the young ladies, which is quite a good thing.
Right, ladies, we've got Junior on the line. Let's see if we can get Junior on the line. Junior, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you hear him, ladies?
No.
Darling.
You can hear him now?
Hey, June.
Hey, Junior.
Can you hear me?
Little bit louder.
Hello?
Can you hear us, Junior?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect now.
Perfect.
I can hear
How
you.
are you?
I can't hear no one else. I can hear you, though.
Can you not hear Lolly?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Or is it, who's your list? Is it me you're hearing?
Yes,
so you can't hear the other ladies. Okay.
No.
All right, let's see what we can do about that. But in the meantime, Junior.
Yes, my dear.
Because ladies and gentlemen in the chat room, yeah, they can hear you. So that's fine.
They can hear you.
All right.
Right, so the ladies can hear you. So if anything, I can reiterate the questions if we need to.
Good.
This is technology, and we're working with it today.
Best.
Okay, so Junior, do you want to give us a bit of tell your story?
Oh, but like in what our wife dealt with the missus at the menopause. We're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I find that well, for me, I don't know if it's classed as lucky because it's never been really no stressful times. You know, it's just that there's no, like you don't get a warning. You just we just be there, and all of a sudden she looks like she's leaking. You know.
When you say she looks like she's leaking, like you mean sweating, like she just
sweating, yeah,
she just burst into sweat.
Yeah, you look at your boys like you just switched the tap on. You know what I mean? Wow. And you just feel like sorry for her, that kind of stuff. But I think she mainly gets it night sweats, I think you call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know for other men, but like for me, you give a little cuddle just before you go to bed, and you'll be cuddling, and all of a sudden it's like I'm cuddling up next to a hot water bottle. You just feel the heat through the arms, the whole body just seems to just like all of a sudden it's like a tap, just switched on to heat.
Yeah.
So can I ask you a question, Junior? Is when you first experienced that, what was the first thing that came to mind? Did you know, were you aware of like menopause and that what she could be going through, or was it just like this just started happening and you were like, what is going on?
No, the only thing I knew about menopause was what your parents told you was, why is she going through time of life, you know?
Yes.
And I first thing I said to her, you got to take this thing called evening primrose, you know? Mm-hmm. Didn't know how it affected them, that kind of stuff. That's the only thing we knew about it, or that I knew about it, you know? And I think she did say she did try it, but it didn't really work for her. And she started to take something called Menopause, I think it's called. something like sage tablets,
Yeah.
which seemed to help her. Do you know what I mean?
Magnesium.
But as far as growing up, we know it wasn't. I don't know. It was like taboo. You never discussed it.
Yeah.
No one said to you say, oh, you're gonna get married later on in life. Your wife is gonna get menopause, and this is what's gonna happen. So this is what you're gonna have to deal with.
And how do you deal with it? What do you do for
Me,
your wife? Are there things that you like, any sort of like mechanisms or things that you use? You know, or little.
no, there's not really nothing. 'Cause like I said, I don't know if I'm lucky because there's nothing. All I do is like in the bed, I give her a space.
Yeah.
So, when she puts that towel down, she puts a towel down, a beach towel down on her side of the bed, yeah. And because she starts to get hot, and I just joke with her, I say, "Listen, my love, don't come in on my part of the bed. Yeah, I don't know why you set up my side of the bed, right? And keep your pillow separate from my pillow, you know, because it just comes on hot. And or she's ugly. I said, boy, I can't take your heat, you know, right? I can't take the heat. But yeah, but she doesn't suffer from nothing, moods or anything like that. So she doesn't have the menstrual cycle. She doesn't have that worry because she's had she's had the operation to get rid of that. So she had that done before her menopause. So now she's not suffering with the two of them at once.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's you in regards to women. That's harder for you. So for me, it's like I suppose it's a godsend that it's only the one thing she's got to deal with. The only thing is that go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So the only thing I would say is that I feel sorry for when I'm watching her go through it.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand or I can't mimic to say I know what you're feeling when you go through it. Because from what I look at, it's not like when you go to an holiday and you're sweating. To me, it doesn't look the same.
No.
It looks like a more intense because she sort of grabs her clothes and she pulls it out and you go, and then she has a big roll of tissue that goes across her forehead she puts, And all I kept thinking is that, boy, I'm glad I ain't a woman to go through that. You know what I mean? And you're doing it every day.
Yeah. And how long have you been experiencing this with your wife? How long has it been going on?
About 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Because I even asked her, I said, how long is it going for? But there is no time factor for it. You know what I mean? I said, how long am I going to be sleeping next to a hot water bottle? So she said there's no time limit.
Yeah.
But I think the only good thing is that it's mainly nighttime it affects her. Generally during the day, life is steady. The odd occasion it will flare up, but there's no warning. There's no there's nothing. I say, oh, she must be on a menopause because she's snapping at me or anything like that. She snaps at me anyway, so I wouldn't know the difference. You know what I mean? So that part of life is the standard.
Yeah.
But no, you don't get a warning for us men. I don't know any other, because I spoke to other men, but there's no warning that we get, or I don't see no change in her moods or anything like that. Like I said, maybe because she's had the operation before, that's got rid of most of that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just more of a visual thing. You see her arms go up in the air, head go back, and then the sweat comes on. Or in the bed, she just starts the bed. When I tell you the heat from it, how as a woman you lot put up with it, I don't know. So the heat that's coming off of her. Go on.
Junior, have you, with your experiences now, because I'm actually quite refreshed at how you've come across today, and you've come across really well. Like you're very supportive of your wife, and and to me that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. Yeah. But have you then taken your experiences and shared that with your male friends to tell them, look, you may go through this? Have you shared that knowledge?
It's one or two. Men still don't talk about it. They don't talk about it it's a bit like talking about your menstrual cycle. We don't talk about it. We never even said, oh, my wife's on a period. You didn't say that. What we said was silly things like, oh, a sister from Red Hills coming down for a week. So, that's what we said, because things like that are so taboo.
Yeah.
If we men sit down and we speak, we wouldn't speak about that. Menopause, you know what I mean? It's the women would speak about it, and you speak about it freely. Us men, we don't speak about it, which we should do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because we look at it, they seem to look at it as a taboo. I'm trying to think of a time that one of our friends or my mates spoke to me about male menopause. I'm sure if I mention it, they'll have something to say, but it's not something they volunteer or comes up in a conversation. I think we should do, because, you know, when women go through it, from what I can, when I speak to her and her sister, like with the mood swings, if the bloke doesn't understand or doesn't recognize it, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He just said, oh, she did put her menopause and that, me gone. And he's gone through the door.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you think that some men
be
could,
like that.
do you think some men could think, you know, that's like a breakdown in relationship, not being educated onto like what it is, and they just think, oh, she's just gone crazy or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Or they say, oh, they think it's a woman's problem, she deal with it, and they're off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or just leave her there with the stress. And I don't think I think they could be more attentive, as into, when like I sit down and I speak to her about it, I ask her a question like, how long do you have it for? When does it start? When does it finish? What are you taking for it? You know, why is it like that? How do you feel when you do it? Those are the questions I ask her.
Yeah.
So like, if in case something happens, you can say, well, you can give her a hand, but because I want to know what's happening, because I feel sorry for her when I'm seeing her going through this. Do you know what I mean? Whereas other men, whether they ask their wife this or not, or show some sort of interest, which I think they should do, you know, we don't talk about it because it's whether it's cultural, male, it's almost like borderlines of taboo. Do you know what I mean? Which we should get over that hurdle now. You know, life and that has moved on from them old days. There should be no problem discussing that now or pre-warning us about it.
Well,
you know what I mean?
think, Junior, you are, you know, you are an inspiration, and you are, you know, because the way that you've, the response that you've been getting in the chat room, your wife is very lucky to have you, I must say, because you've come across very like understanding, and like you want to help, like you're concerned, you're interested, and I think that's something, you know, that at that time, regardless of how us women may be feeling, you know, very grouchy or whatever it is, you know, we don't want us women, I'd like to think we don't want to be walking around feeling like, you know, we're just sweating all the time. So to be with your partner and be like that, you may feel a bit uncomfortable. So to have somebody that's understanding like yourself, I just got to say hats off to you, sir. Yeah. And I hope that you never got too many more years.
No, listen, like I said, we've been together for enough years that we should understand one another. You know what I mean? I just think that we should, well, as a male, they should take an interest in something that's that serious for her. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I would hate to think that my wife sitting there going through that, feeling that I don't care, and walk up and leaving her to deal with it on her own. Do you know what I mean? I would hate that, because I'm trying to imagine that me going through something like that, what we men go through, and then she's telling me, no, leave it, you do it, and she's gone out through the door. It can't be a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Junior, so thank you so much. Thank you
so
much,
my dear.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me come on and air my views, and I think you're doing a great job to a lot of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Out to all you women. Yeah.
Thank you.
Power to you all. Speak to you later.
And good luck, and say hello to your wife from us.
I will do.
Yes.
All right.
I will do.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, Lolly. We're going to go through a couple of comments.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah. Good evening, Natalie Seacrest. I'm not sure if I've pronounced it right. How are you? Hope you're well. She said, blessed evening all. I've been going through the menopause for over 2 years. Now, on and off. I explained to my partner so that he was aware of some of the symptoms. He's very understanding and wishes I wasn't going through it. Exactly.
Very good. Very good. Diane, she was 50 in January. The sweats are terrible in the morning, especially when she gets to work. Her face just drips. Her workplace are good became her colleague who's 60. She's worse than her. After around half an hour, they feel really cold and weird.
Yeah.
So you have the sweats, and then basically when the sweats are stopped, you get this cold feeling, because obviously your whole body's wet.
Yeah.
That's right.
Your clothes are wet.
It's like it's almost like a shiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shiver that you would have if you've got a cold or that, because you've gotten hot and then your body comes
and it drops down.
Yeah. Good evening, Prue. Hope you're well. She said, my other half will most probably cuss me when it does arrive for her.
And dye green eyes, I think men go for it too, the way some of them carry on.
Yeah, I agree.
You can always rely on Di. Evening, Di.
G Silves, how are you, darling? Hope you're all right. She said she can relate to what Junior was saying. Thank you, Junior. I absolutely adore you and Anne-Marie. But she said she can relate to what he's saying. You know, obviously how his wife suffers at night time, so she can relate to it.
And Millie Henderson wants to know how come they haven't found a cure for this.
Oh.
All these years we've been going for it. Maybe because it's women's problem, isn't it?
They're the pharmaceutical companies would be done out of money. That's what it all comes down to.
Do you think that men go through something similar?
But men are hot anyway, naturally. They're hotter than females naturally.
Yeah, someone actually did say in the chat room, because I am going from older comments, did say that men are naturally hot, which they are when they are sleeping. So to know that two hot people is just, yeah.
So we've talked about, you know, like some of the symptoms. I mean, what are some like therapies? We've mentioned the HRT. I've got a list of a couple of alternative therapies. We've got grapeseed and black cohosh supplements. They can help with hot flushes in the short term, but you're not supposed to do it for no longer than 6 months.
Well, it's going to be with you for X amount of years, so that's no good.
So that's we've got Angus castus, another herbal medicinal product, and that can help perimenopausal women troubled by mood swings or PMS. So that's probably something that you can take before that, and only buy MHRA registered products. So they're saying basically when you're going to alternative therapies, or you know alternative, make sure you get from a reputable place. You really look at, because some things some ladies aren't able to take, but we just hear that we use these sorts of remedies, and
also they're not able to take certain medication if they're actually on other medications as well.
Exactly. So that's another thing that you know you have to bear in mind when you're looking for solutions. It's what, like if you've got high blood pressure, whether you can take, I don't know, an alternative therapy if it works in conjunction with that, or you know works against it. So it's something that, you know, if you feel you're going through, or you know you're at the beginning stage, or even just to research, it may be a good idea to speak to, you know, a medical professional or your doctor.
Of course.
Like,
have you noticed that some medical professionals will tell you don't take them because they want you to take the pharmaceutical drugs instead?
They do, and that's where we're going back to. Sometimes your GP isn't very helpful. That's where we go back to, that your GP. So it is best to. Sorry, am I getting some feedback?
Yeah, you got it a bit there, Cheryl.
Yeah. It is best to. Oh my God, I'm sorry. It is best to sometimes to research and find out about natural remedies.
Because I think as well, sometimes when you talk to people, what works for them won't necessarily work for you, because everyone's symptoms are different. Some people could probably experience menopause for 10 years and not even realize that they've even gone through it. Whereas others,
I remember when my mum was going through HRT patches, just after she had the hysterectomy, and it wasn't agreeing with her. And one of our friends, who was a neighbour, was on a different patch. So she actually gave her one of her patches to test out, and it actually worked for her. So my mum went back to the GP to get these patches instead of the ones that were given to her in the first place. So.
And did that help?
It did help. It made a difference compared to the first one.
Right.
So you think it's like trial and error to see what works for you?
Yeah, and it is really.
Dawn Solomon said that her mum used red clover.
And I've heard that's quite good as well. I was looking at that on Amazon today, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got some evening primrose. Prue has made. Good evening, Prue. She said she's just ordered 2 bottles of evening primrose.
Get in there, Prue. Get in there.
Let's have a look at a couple ones.
Someone said you could use a beach towel.
Right, Maureen Warrington, good evening. She said, I was perimenopausal at 45. At 59, my symptoms have slowed down a lot, but still get hot flushes now and again. But I think it's definitely something to do with your diet. Certain things I eat trigger my hot flushes, and that's right. Certain things you either drink or eat, I believe. I know that mine is like hot chocolate, but I love hot chocolate. That definitely will trigger it of my hot flush.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's definitely down to diet.
Mimi says some of the remedies can't be used if you've had cancer. One of her friends had breast cancer and cannot take anything for menopause. So again, it's one of those things that you have to really go and see, get some help, get some advice. You know, because what you may think is not really important may be the most important thing. Determine what's going to happen to you for the next 10 years and how you manage it, really. I think should we go to a couple of memes, Carol?
Yeah,
okay, no problem.
Yeah, we'll go to a couple of memes, and then I guess we will, after the memes, we'll have a little chat in the chat room, and then we'll go and catch up with Bella.
Yes, Bella, we're coming.
Yes, we're coming. We're coming, Bella.
Meme one, please.
Okay.
With the 7 dwarfs of menopause, yeah. Itchy, bitchy, sweaty, sleepy, bloated, forgetful, all dried up. Because we haven't talked about it where you're all dried up. Because when you go through menopause, this is what happens. Your vagina dries up and you don't produce enough lubrication.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and you may need a little support to help you in that area, because that is apparently a proven fact that the vagina dryness. Gents, I hope you got your pen and papers out.
Yes.
And this is what happens when you lose estrogen as well. You tend to lack, you know, all that stuff.
Of course.
Can I get meme 2, please? And that's the hot flush treatment. When you're so hot that you end up throwing an iced tea on your forehead because you can't take it no more. You're so hot, you're just blowing up and you're just melting. So the only thing to cool down would be a jug of water or iced tea. Depends if you're in a restaurant or if you're at home.
So these things can literally happen anywhere.
Absolutely anywhere. It doesn't matter. It has no honor. It will just come out of anywhere.
One of my clients, she was in a meeting and she said the reason why she knew she's getting a hot flush because all her friends would go, your nose is going red. And she's like, what? She goes, yes, like Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Her nose literally went bright red. And that's when the sweat started coming as well afterwards.
Yeah.
Roger Bailey. Honestly. I'm not even going to read his comment. But Roger Bailey, you never cease to amaze me.
I need to scroll back later on.
Casey says no need for pen and paper. Okay.
Well done, Casey.
Casey's got this locked down. He knows what he's doing. Is that the case, Casey? Let us know.
Oh, that's good. Can I get meme 3, please?
Yep.
Carol found her own way of coping with the hot flushes by sitting in the fridge. Yeah, that is crazy. Can you imagine just having the fridge wide open?
I can imagine that some ladies will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a joke. I can imagine that some ladies will do that.
It's
absolutely.
Oh, well, I suppose that's one way of dealing with being at the fridge during the lockdown. I'm not going for food. I'm not going for, I'm having a hot flush. That's one way. Maybe I see it, I guess.
And meme number 4, please. Still to come, because nature decides that pregnancy, labor, delivery, breastfeeding, stretch marks, saggy boobs, and cellulite wasn't punishment enough.
Really, Carol?
All of that. It's true. It just keeps on coming.
Yeah. women have no chance.
Yeah.
We do have to go through a lot.
Yeah.
But I think we'll do all right if we all had a few more men like Junior.
Yeah.
Who are supportive and who wants to know.
Of course.
Most definitely. All right.
And meme number 5, please.
All right, we've got meme.
When you use menopause to get out of just about everything, including court cases.
Yeah, I'm going to use it for everything.
So,
yeah.
Cheryl, have you used the menopause as an excuse for
Yes,
bad behavior and?
Yes, and yes. Yeah. If I'm feeling it, I'm going to use it.
Casey says that he's coping with it for a long time and has to be patient. Well done to you, Casey.
Well done, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that Martin Gill is putting some lyrics, some sort of comment in the room.
Yeah, his time
I'm going
soon
to go
come.
back. So he heard the eye of the new and 2 strands of hair from a unicorn helps.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm not even going to laugh at him.
No. You need to learn something.
Can I have meme number 6, please?
Meme number 6 is up, my darling.
Men bracing themselves because menopause is coming.
Game of Thrones.
Imagine all the weapons that got used just to protect themselves.
Right, it's a lot of weapons, a lot of barriers, to fight off that.
But it's his seriousness on his face. That's what kills it for me.
Imagine, but then he's cold enough, so when she comes, she'll melt him anyway, wouldn't she?
Well, he'd better back off that jacket or robe thing that he's got off quick time. It's good to catch a fire.
So men, just make sure you got to brace yourself because this is going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's coming.
And I hope that you've taken note today. It's going to happen. And you need to take time with your lady friends.
Mm-hmm.
And meme number 7, mood swings caused by the menopause agent happen by suggesting that you like to tell women what they should do to solve solutions. And women don't like to hear it.
Well, especially
if the woman knows the answer already, and the man thinks that you babe, you do already, but you should do this. I know already, and you go to start to say something else. Next minute, you get a slap in your forehead. Oh, well, that's part of it. Menopause. Welcome to menopause.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sniggering here.
Right.
I'm sniggering here. I'm just sniggering, that's all I'm going to say. Welcome to menopause. Don't tell me how to do it. Don't tell me what way to do it. I know what I'm doing. I get it.
So Lisa, good evening, Lisa. She says some women experience loss of libido. So when that happens, how does that impact on your relationship? Because if I think of a man's point of view first,
that can happen before menopause there as well.
Yeah, so like they've gone off the bedroom, they're hot, they're snappy. That's a lot to deal with. But then on the other side of the coin is the person experiencing it is feeling worse.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Especially if that was a big part of their relationship. To have that sort of stripped from you, that must be a really hard thing to kind of deal with. Thinking, do women that lose their libido start feeling like they're not, they're not enough for their man? Do you think that they could think that?
So, ladies, I put it to you in the chat room. Yeah.
Who says that? Maca. Somebody says maca helps libido and balances hormones.
What's that?
Maca.
Okay.
Helps libido.
What is maca?
Karen, can you explain to us what this is? I do think that this is a root.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it is a root.
I think it's a root.
Yvonne Waters, I believe, says, good evening, Yvonne Waters. She said, For the dryness, a friend of mine uses Yes products.
Yes.
She believes it's a natural product as well. She swears by them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what she got to do? All she got to do is say yes.
Di, is that better? Can you hear me better now? She's asking for a little bit more volume. I hope that's just a bit better now. Apologies.
Amanda Mack, yeah.
Yes.
I hope that they are hearing the trials of us women.
Yeah. And support us. Now, Prue says, this is long. I'm over it already, and I'm not even there.
Yeah, and they said long as long.
10 years, Prue. 10 years.
So Dawn Solomon said, good evening, Dawn. She says, wet at the top, dry down the bottom bit. Hasn't happened to me, though. I hope it never does.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
right,
so maca, you can get maca in powdered form and put it in smoothies.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Mimi and Karen. See, it's good to talk.
It is.
It's good to share.
I've never heard of that, so
it's good to
that's
talk.
good. That's something I'll look out for. Oh, what will cause? Someone said something will cause. All right. Millie Henderson, good evening again, darling. She said, geez, you get dry down there too, as if you ain't got enough to deal with. Cheek, isn't it?
But thank you, Beverly, for that one. She said it can be more than 10 years.
More than 10 years. Yeah.
Wow. That seems a lot.
Wow.
Ladies, I'm going to leave you to the chat room and we'll see if we can get Bella on the line and see how long she's been actually dealing with it.
All right. Let's, until you get... Right, Martin Girl said, for some men, it's a good thing.
Why?
When Nani dry, it gives the walls thread.
Oh, no.
Thread. Oh, gosh. Help me. All right, on Di Green Eyes. She says, I never sweat though. Di Green Eyes. Good evening, darling. She says, I never sweat though, even when I've worked out. So I'm hoping I don't start sweating. Fingers crossed. Christopher Johnson, he says, is there a diet for saggy breasts?
Pardon?
Operation.
Unless he's paying for the operation.
He better be paying for the operation.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And Deb's Robbo, good evening, darling. She did say, which I like, that, but that's why we are strong. We all that stuff we have to go through. And that's right, darling, we are strong.
Oh my God. This is getting from bad to worse, Sunday.
Let's go. So I'm trying to sift through Martin and Roger's, Martin and Roger Bailey's comments. Yeah, Millie, we need to ban Martin. Should I do that
now? and Michelle Singh Williams said, if you eat a lot of okra, apparently it makes it. Oh. That's it. It actually helps.
Okra.
What did I miss?
Stopping women getting dry. Okra helps. Okra helps.
Oh, well, eating it, Michelle, eating it, or do you boil it and the juice? Let me know.
You lot have lost me now. You lot have lost me.
No, eating it. Cheryl, eating it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I do like okra anyway, so.
Lady fingers. Ugh.
I do love them, I do.
Right, so it looks like we might have Bella on the line. Bella, are you there? Can you hear us?
I certainly am, my love. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear her, ladies and gentlemen?
Hi, Bella. We can hear her.
Hey, Bells.
Perfect. Belle?
Yep.
Okay, so would you like to... Yeah, I like this comment. Someone said Lolly's innocent. Yes, that's right.
She's got another 10 years.
Had I did anything.
That's another chat show.
Yeah.
Bella, would you like to share with our group and our viewers of your experiences and, you know, just, just tell us a bit about what you've been dealing with.
Well, evening, ladies, and of course, all you gentlemen that are kindly gracing us with your presence, especially you, Martingale. But let me just say that for me, and I'm not saying it happens for everyone, but nearly all the comments that have been put in so far are absolutely correct and spot on. Well done to you, Junior, and your support would have been quite valuable when I had my partner and going through my menopause, hot flushing, throwing off covers, everything. You do get. I don't even want to call it night sweats. It's not just night sweats. You can get it in the day. You can get it anytime. You just feel like you're being attacked. And men, I'm very sorry for you because you go on pause. You really do. We ain't got no time for you. No time for the puppy show under the bedding.
Oh no.
Because you have to work hard. Yeah. We are stressed. Our bodies are finishing. We are going through a change. And you just have to be so patient. And I do feel sorry for them. I do. But you have to really, really, really be patient.
And Bella, so how long have you been experiencing it for?
No, I'm done with that.
Oh,
That's
you're
all
done now.
Oh, you're
Okay.
I'm
done.
done.
So how long
I'm
was
over.
your journey?
I would say probably about a good 5+ years.
Okay.
Started a bit late 40s, and then it just comes on. It just came about. There was all the peri bit where you just hit and miss with your menstruation, blah blah blah. Then that stops, but it has to be completely free for 18 months.
Oh, wow.
Why 18 months? I don't know. And then once that stops for 18 months, you can raise your hand up and say, yeah, that's the end of that job. But then everything else starts. And you got the hot flushes to deal with. You got various supplements that you can take if you don't want to go down the HRT route. Loads of stuff. Your hormones, everything changes. Everything just changes. But when you lose your libido, that is the one. That is where you just like, okay, so what now then?
So
And
how did you deal with it in that time?
with the loss of libido, I was
Yeah.
vexed. I was screwing. I was absolutely screaming. I like. I was vexed because I was just like, nah, man. How could you take everything? Do you know what I mean? But it does come back. It does come back.
Mhm.
But I just don't get. How can I put it? I have no patience and tolerance for foolish men. So men approaching me in a dance and all of that kind of stuff and the chat up lines, it's like, why? Do you know what I mean? Go away.
Mhm.
I haven't got no tolerance for that. I don't know about other women. I don't know if they've experienced that, but personally for me, no, it just don't work. That it's hard going. If I'm going to go on a date, boy, you best know there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot.
So
Just
were you in a relationship when you were going through it? Did you have that support?
I was in a relationship
Mm.
when I was going through the stages of the losing of the libido,
Mhm.
and he did have to work hard.
Mhm.
Man had to really, really, really work hard,
Mhm.
and because you don't feel as oh, I'm going to lose the thingy now. You don't, and yet yeah, you do have all these states of memory issues going on. Um, you kind of take a long time. It takes a long time for you to feel aroused,
Mhm.
so they have to work even harder to get you to that mode. And you could go to bed, the two of you start naked, and okay, what happens next? And you're waiting. You feel like that. I felt like I was forever waiting for
So
something to kick in.
were you having like the hot flushes and that kind of thing and having to stay away, the towels around the neck and in
Yeah,
between the knees and all
yeah.
that
I
sort of
didn't have to
stuff?
do no. Didn't have to do none of that. I had a ceiling fan.
Okay.
But there was no point in going under the covers really to stay under the covers
Mhm.
because they would get dash off because I'd get hot and it'd be the hot from the hot flushes more than the activity that was about to take place.
Mhm.
So when the activity did kick in, then you become even more hot.
Yeah.
So there's more sweat. So
Yeah.
that ceiling fan was handy.
Yeah.
It was very handy. And that's Cheryl was saying, it's a summer tog,
Mm-hmm.
quilt, duvet. That's all year round. That I can't do the hot ones no more. No,
Yeah.
it's too much.
So
So
what?
you
So
can't do
now
that.
on the other end, you've come through it.
Hmm.
What advice would you? I mean, first the question actually. Did you talk to other women about your experiences and share what you were going through?
Yes,
Ones
I
that were.
did.
Did you approach women that were going through that, or women that were approaching that?
Yeah, I went through like talking to various girlfriends and what have you.
Hmm.
I did go through the discussions of, do you think, and do you have, and we
Yeah.
shared all of that
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So there was support from women. There was support from, in terms of having your partner, your male partner.
Hmm.
There was the support there, and he just, he managed it. It didn't, push him away in any sort of shape or form.
Yeah.
But there are times when, don't even think about touching me because I'm not. No,
So
it's
what
it's,
advice?
it's
So what advice would you give women approaching this or going through it now?
boy, they just got to take time.
Hmm.
It's everybody's going to be different.
Hmm.
So every individual is going to go through it differently. I don't think you have the same two comparisons, because I'm at the age I'm at now. I've got a lot of girlfriends my age, and they have hot flushes and I don't. I might only break out in a hot flush or have a sweat if I'm eating overspiced food, or I don't know, sometimes it just randomly might come and attack you.
Yeah.
Chocolate, chocolate goes out the door. So endless
Oh wow.
chocolates, no bother with that. I can't eat chocolate again. That will just bring out a hot flush unnecessarily, but it will
Wow.
aggravate me. But funny enough, something's gone really strange, and I don't know how to other than saying it's gone strange. During this time that we're in right now with COVID and being on lockdown, when I've gone shopping, I've bought some chocolate because I fancied the chocolate. And you have cravings for things that you're lacking because your hormones have gone all askew
Hmm.
and going all up and down. So I bought the chocolate and I boxed that off, and it wasn't a problem. And I couldn't understand it. I've had no consequences from eating chocolate during this time.
Okay.
But ordinarily, can't touch it. Can
Hmm.
only be plain, mint, them kind of things,
Yeah.
after eights and blah blah, or white chocolate.
Wow.
But there's a lot. There's a
Hmm.
lot. But if you're going through it, you've just got to recognize and accept
Hmm.
that your body is changing. You're not changing.
Yeah.
It's just a natural thing that unfortunately we all experience as females.
Bella, thank you so much for taking the time out
Right,
and with the
Bella.
delay
Thank
as
you.
well. I
You're
Thank
hope
you.
welcome.
I hope that a few of our ladies have taken something from that and learned from something. We really do appreciate your time and your support here on We Need to Talk.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
No problem.
All right, thank you very
All
much,
Thanks,
right.
Bella.
Belle.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Well, ladies.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Thanks, Belle.
Esther, she said she didn't lose any libido, just the dryness,
Yeah.
and the lube came into play.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's what, as Bella said, everybody affects differently, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about your hair and stuff like that? Does it thin
Well,
and that sort of stuff? And your skin, does that
yeah.
change?
Your skin gets dry, obviously, with the amount of sweating you're doing and drying and sweating and drying. It's a bit like when they tell you to wash your hands and keep washing your hands, and your hands get dry and cracked, isn't it? The same type of thing. It's just because remember when you sweat, you produce salt, and the salt dries out your skin.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because your hair can thin as well. A few ladies have said in the chat room that Linda, I did, good evening, Linda. I did read your comment. She actually had lovely locks and she had to cut them now because the menopause basically destroyed her hair. And another lady has also said that that the menopause has thinned her hair. So it's all these.
And that also could be if you're diabetic as well. You can thin out your hair as well. It might not be the menopause. It could be other symptoms of illness you might have.
Yeah.
As well.
Okay.
Wow.
Right, I can hear something in the background there. Is it me here on my end?
Is that you?
Oh no, I can hear Cheryl coming back on me.
Oh, okay.
There we go. It's me, I think.
Okay.
My phone was up, I think. There we go.
Okay.
That better? There we go now.
Anthony Henry said he's so glad he's a man.
But at least you understand now.
So guys, the question to you guys, like obviously you sat here and we are so grateful that you have actually sat here and, you know, contributed. Some of you, not maybe Martin, but the rest of you. But you know, do you think you've learned something today? And I think looking at some of the comments, the ladies have definitely picked up certain things, you know, you can see from their responses. But
Yeah.
I'd be keen to understand whether some of the men in our group have taken anything away from this today.
Yeah, because they generally have a lot to say. They generally have a lot to say. I will say one funny comment. Sonia Whittingham again. Great stuff. She says she has a beard. Now I get that. I have to make sure this is waxed or threaded because there was a mustache there that wasn't there before. And when you look in the light, you can see it.
Wow.
Yeah, so hair starts growing from nowhere. Yeah, so I get that.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit depressed.
It's just nature, baby. It's nature. Look how strong we are.
I know, but damn, that's a lot. That's a lot. Let's have a look.
Sandy, yes, we do go through a lot. We do. Good evening, darling.
Beverly says that she's been lucky because her hair is thick. So I suppose it depends what you start off with.
No, but the thing is, your hair could be thick, but you're thin on top. That's what happens.
So
you don't thin
it's in
all
certain
over.
place. It's certain place.
Yeah, you just thin. You tend to thin right at the top,
wow.
by the temples and the very front.
Yeah.
You get thin, but the rest of the hair will be nice and thick.
But it's just that in that area. Do you know what I noticed? I used to be in hair for 20 odd years. And I noticed, especially in black women, when they used to have certain blood pressure tablets, they would, this area would start to thin. And sometimes they would come to me and they'd be like, you know, there's treatments and things like that. And I'd be like, well, it's not actually something you can do in a salon. Sometimes it's something from within. And, you know, and I think that is one of the telltale signs, you know, when our hair and our skin starts changing and that kind of thing. We not automatically think it's something we can go and buy in the shop, but not realizing that it's something within. It's a sign. Yeah. It's a sign of something else going on.
I've got a few ladies like that as well. Yeah.
You know, so.
That's what happens. And because some of them might have cholesterol problems.
Yeah.
Diabetes, blood pressure. All that can make your hair thin out as well.
Yeah.
As well as going through the menopause at the same time. Can you imagine all that happening? You lose your hair, you get depressed, you get more depressed, then you start sweating.
It's not a great time.
So
like
it's this
Florence
comment.
said, good evening, darling.
Sorry, I had to read this comment. Where is it gone? Mandy Legister. She says, my bikini line is a full-on international border complete with a civil war.
Well, if you put it like that.
Oh my God.
Right, sorry, there was one. Florence Henderson, good evening, darling. She did say you need to embrace a whole new beauty regime. You're right. Yeah.
So the skincare and hair care, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
More time for yourself.
Roger Bailey has said something sensible, I think. Communication and understanding your partner. And then he said, a bit like Junior. Okay, next.
Casey.
Mother Nature
good evening
is
once again.
a man. Is Mother Nature a man?
If he is, he's playing tricks.
He does.
Casey Genesis Jones, he says, try to make some men aware, but they're too macho to listen, which is very sad. Do you think that's a cultural thing? Or do you think it's just men in general?
A lot of it's cultural.
I think it's cultural. But I don't think every man is like taking that sort of attitude, as we saw with Junior.
Yeah.
And as we see with my hubby, he gives me my space and blah, blah, blah. He tries to be as understanding as he can.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say as in men in general. I think it's just those that are just Are you ready to open up your mind to the the things that women go through? And is it showing in the chat room?
Yeah, because Tyree said he's definitely learning some stuff. We did not really understand the struggle, but we will try to be a bit more understanding.
I like him.
But some women can go through this for a decade. They try their best.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you try.
Yeah. That's the main thing.
As long as you try.
Somebody,
really good.
Amanda said, save your sick days.
I get that.
Amanda, another one. She says, acne is something that can. Oh, we got hairs in the chin, like we were saying, Cheryl, about the upper lip and that. Wow. I think it just says it's inevitable, isn't it? We can't escape it, and it's just like whether you get the short straw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether you, like Bella, she had 5 years, and it seemed to be that she had it kind of quite mild, in comparison to some other ladies, which she can get it for like the extreme. So I think it just, however you have to deal with it, you make sure that you deal with it in the way that best suits you, because you're the only person going through it, and people can be as understanding as you like, but if you're walking down in the street and you just combust into sweat, it's only you feeling that embarrassment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know how you feel inside about that. If you're sitting at work and you've got brain fog and you can't do what you need and you're snapping at people and you don't know and you're emotional, it's only you that feels that inside of yourself. So I think whatever it takes for you to get through that point, then that's what you need to do.
Absolutely.
That's what's most important.
That's why it's good that, at what certain workplaces they are actually understanding.
Yeah. And it's also good that we're actually talking about it now. We're in an open forum talking about it with ladies and gents, and hopefully we can broaden this and speak about it more, and at least our gents have a greater understanding that at least that they can try to understand what we absolutely go through.
Yeah.
It's true.
Good evening, Amanda. She says she's going to retire now before it all starts and praying for minimal symptoms.
So Candrine has said, I feel real hot the last few months, but no sweating, just extra hot, even when everyone is cold. Mum's got it bad, so wondering if I'm gonna get like that. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. Your mum would be different from you. You may not have it as bad as your mum. Who knows? You just got to take it as it comes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Roger Bailey said this could be a serious relationship breaker.
Yeah, that's my point. That's my point, because you've lost that whole connection because you're just dealing with yourself. Hence the title, Men on Pause During Menopause. And we say men on pause during menopause, but I would go as far as maybe your friendships and your family it affects. It's not just a man and a woman. It goes far out as, the way that you deal with maybe your children. You may be not as patient with them, or your friends. You don't feel like they're supportive enough, or they don't understand what you're going through because they can't appreciate because they're not understanding what you're going through. And that's where things can happen.
You could be going through this hot flushes and then you start snapping at people because you're tired as well.
Yeah.
Your whole body's just tired and you're exhausted. And they're thinking, what's the problem? Why are they acting like this?
Yeah, you turn miserable. We're not inviting you out anymore.
And Millie did say, which is a good question in the group, Millie, thank you. She said, are the men finding this chat useful? Have you learned anything? Ty Reid has replied back, yes, thank you. There are loads of jokes about this for men to giggle, but some of the stuff women go through is deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Ladies and gents, I think we got a couple more. Anybody got any remedies or anything like that, or alternative remedies?
Yeah.
I think there's something with there's a pin that you can put on your underwear, isn't there? I was supposed to bring that link. I'll put it in the group afterwards. There's
what was that?
It was like a pin that you're supposed to put on your underwear, and it's supposed to control some of the hot flashes. I don't know exactly how it works.
But what happens if you don't wear underwear?
Oh, Carol.
Put it in your jeans. Put it in the side, the skirt, the jeans. Put it in the jeans.
Yeah. So if we have a couple more, and then we'll wrap it up for this week.
Yes.
And guys, we thank you so much for your comments and your input, and for bearing with us from earlier on as well. It's been very informative for me. Scary, but informative. I'm not going to be looking. As I was sitting here looking in the screen, I'm looking at my forehead to see if I'm shiny or anything like that, because all of a sudden my hands feel hot, my foot feels hot. I'm feeling it. I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to feel like I'm ready to strip. So
it's just the lighting. It's just all it is, the lighting.
It's just the lighting, babe.
You know. So
it's just the lighting.
Yeah.
We do have an important announcement.
We do.
Before we do leave.
We do, and we actually didn't get an opportunity to say hello to them. We would like to welcome along our viewers over in the Florida from Flex TV. Welcome. I know it's a bit late now.
It's a bit late, but
welcome. Yes.
Thank you.
We are transmitting as well as through Facebook and YouTube, and that we're actually now broadcasting via MediaNet and also Flex TV. So thank you to those guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed what we've done today, and we should have some more bits for you next week. That maybe we should talk about some subjects that are a bit more transatlantic.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, you know. So yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So we've got a couple of black cohosh. We had that earlier, didn't we? And do we have, ladies? Do we have our the group?
The contributors.
Contributors to the group. Those who are in the group, thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm going to go there now.
Been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Within the last 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah. So we have the top 5 contributors. So we have
from the bottom,
Sharon Warmington.
Hey, Sharon.
Yeah. Congratulations. Diana Miller Joseph is number 4.
Diana.
Yay.
Yes. We have next, Carol.
Olivia Debbie C. Warren is number 3.
Olivia.
Yeah.
Well done, Olivia. Yeah.
And number 2 is Troublemaker.
Well done. Yeah. Some of his posts have been really good.
And number 1 is George Williams.
George, yay! And
well
again,
done, guys.
there is a lot of rising stars. We see your badges and we are notified by you. There are so much of you contributing. Keep on contributing. We thank you. What I will say, just off the cup, no more complaints in our inbox. We're human as well. We're human.
There's a lot of you to deal with.
No more inboxes of complaints. Come on, people.
No more complaints and no more calls.
No more calls. No more complaints. It's just a group. It's just a group.
Okay, ladies. Okay, so another thing for the group is just bear in mind keywords. And we like the temperature of the group, and we'd like to keep it that way. And we want to keep it as nice. You know, we're doing well. And I like the fact that, you know, if anybody misses rules or anything like that, that the other participants are quick to just give them a little nudge. Yeah. And everybody is so polite. So, you know, we do thank you.
Keywords, please.
Keywords. Yeah, so we do thank you for that. Most definitely. So, Cheryl, you got our thank yous?
Yeah, so again, we're going to just say thank you to the NHS as usual, to all key workers, bus drivers, supermarket workers, etc. I'm going to say to you guys, please take care until we meet on the other side. Look after yourselves and look after your family.
Very much. Very good. Very good. Ladies and gents, that's us for another week on We Need to Talk. Oh, let me get this on
here. And also thank you for all the people that's contributed in the chat rooms, because you know your comments are well respected. We enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Right. So on that note, let's get this Let's make sure I'm doing this right. Bye-bye, ladies and gents.
Bye.